POW, Prisoners of War, right? Prisoners of War, I think that's the official title on the SNK 40th Anniversary Collection, PS4 edition. I want to say Prisoners of War was the official subtitle of this game because POW is obviously the main title. This is actually a game I played a tiny bit of in the arcade on launch. And I never got a chance to actually play the NES game very much, even though I remember I have a book around here. I think it's called Strategies for Nintendo Games, something like that. I think it's by Stephen Schwartz, is the author. I'll check and see if I got the book. It's still lying around here. I think it was one of the highest rated games listed in the book. It was one of these it was based on a bunch of objective criteria. It was a game that was, this game is, in case you're wondering, this game is basically Double Dragon. Punch button, kick button, and press both buttons to jump kick. Fine. What are you gonna do? I remember this game being the highest rated game, or one of the highest rated games in that book. The book included games like Bionic Commando, Mega Man 2, which I think was the highest rated game in that book. What were the other big ones? I think Mario 3 wasn't even in that book. I'll have to double check. But basically the way it works is that they try to review games based on objective criteria. Things like, how good is the instruction manual? Metroid was listed in that book. In other words, how good is the instruction manual? I don't think it has to be in color. But does it show you how the enemies look in the game? Does it show you strategies for defeating the enemies? Does it clearly explain what the items and the power-ups are? That kind of thing. So what that game did is that a game like Metroid would get a 10 out of 10 because it was basically a perfect manual. In some games like Bionic Commando would get a 2 out of 10 because the instruction manual was terrible. It didn't tell you what any of the enemies looked like. It didn't tell you what any of the power-ups looked like in-game. It didn't explain the continue system. So basically it was a very bad manual. It wasn't in color either, but that was probably not relevant. This game got a very high ratings across the board, except in one category, and I think it was the features category. They rewarded games that gave people continues. They rewarded password features or batteries. If a game didn't have any of that, I think it would lose at least a point if it didn't have any of that. It would also award games. They would also rate games objectively based on graphics and sound. So a game like this would get a 10 out of 10 in graphics, unless there was a lot of flickering or a lot of slowdown, I think. Like a lot. Like, obviously, nearly every NES game had flickering or slowdown, to be honest. To be brutally honest here. I think the sound effect, I think the music would get praised for, well, not being terrible, I guess. I'll have to double check those ratings. If it had like digitized sound effects, they would get a bonus ranking too. So it's kind of objective. But I don't think there was a fun rating. So every game got a 10 out of 10 and it lost points for missing certain important features, like passwords or continues, I want to say. Okay, as you're probably seeing right here, you have a button for punching, a button for kicking, and I haven't done the jump kick yet because one of the things I was doing when I was playing the game the first time, which is yesterday, is I was just using the kick button and nothing else. There's a punch button, which is also a throw button. Okay, fine. Select is for the triangle key, which I think just shows you points. If you press both buttons, you can do a jump kick. Of course, the game doesn't tell you that, because you can't have rebindable keys, and there's no manual included with this collection, which is... I've given up complaining about that. It's never going to happen. How many games even include digital manuals these days? Princess Crown Pro did, but it was barely readable on a small screen. We'll talk about that later. Okay. Whoops. That's my punch button. You have your kick button. Press the triangle, or select doesn't seem to do anything. Well, the music still plays while you're paused. Okay. Let's pick up another weapon. But I'm just going to kick. Your kick has quite a bit of range in this game, as you can see. So I guess the hit detection is a bit too forgiving. Ow. Stupid. It's the opposite of Akari Warriors. Hard to believe there was a time when this game was considered considered good graphics. Although I guess the palm trees in the back are a nice touch. Like I said, this is my aesthetic. palm trees and dudes with guns in the 80s. That's about as... I mean, so basically it's Rambo and Predator. You know? I guess to put it politically, I guess Hollywood was still trying to get over... They were still trying to get over Vietnam, and Grenada just happened. So yeah, jungles. Military dudes in jungles. That's the 80s for you. That crap. I don't remember dying this much the first time I played. Yeah, look out for the dudes with grenades. I don't think you can really attack them. I think they just run away before you can even get to them. The pace of this game is really slow. So, I mean, this isn't exactly, you know, mighty Final Fight we're talking about here. So you could easily turn this game into a Final Fight clone if you wanted to. You just have to fix the, you would have to, you know, fix the moveset, fix the collision detection, and fix the fix the pacing. It's really sluggish, but again, it's an NES game, so I know what you want here. They can't all be, you know, Mendel Palace, I guess. Like, if you're talking about, like, high-speed NES games, thinking, like, you know, Batman Return of the Joker, that was pretty fast. Spy Hunter was pretty fast, right? Super Spy Hunter? Gimmick, obviously, but that was a late NES game, like, very late, like, end-of-life cycle NES game. In 1988, if you wanted a fast NES game, it was basically a bunch of rare games, like Slalom and RC Pro-Am. And when did RC Pro-Am come out? This game came out in 1988, really? Or maybe the arcade game did. I guess I was under the impression this game came out in 1990. I guess it came out before Ninja Turtles and Ninja Gaiden. Which is reasonably fast-paced, of course. 60 FPS, am I right? Look at this. Can't you see? 60 FPS. Actually, we're recording at 30, it doesn't really matter that much. How many kicks did that take? Good lord, look at that. Okay, let's do some... He's not dead. I can't do a jump kick with this knife, can I? Okay, let's try it. So I can jump kick with the knife. See? So again, there's no reliable way for me to do a jump kick. So I have to press both buttons simultaneously, which again is a double dragon conceit that I never liked, but hey, here we go. It was like this in the arcade game too. These dudes have guns. Once the jump kick is twice as strong as a regular punch or a kick, so let's find out. Yeah, the kick button's for shooting. You can also whack dudes with the gun. Melee range by pressing the punch button. But the range on it's kind of bad, so I want to say it's a liability. Of course, you can always jump kick, so there's that. So how do they do that effect? Like, how do they... Must have been some kind of trick. Okay, hold on, I accidentally rewinded. So I mean, I understand how you can do the window effect. I just don't know how you can do the wood effect. Like, how can you emulate the effect of walking behind wood like this? Because the NES couldn't do parallax scrolling. So I wonder what effect they used to cheat. Don't remember finding anyone inside this house either, but hey, there you go. Okay, there are foreground effects in NES games. Whoops. Shot to the face. Okay, yeah, this place is kind of annoying. Can I jump kick out of it? Yeah, I can jump kick out of it. I'm wasting a bunch of bullets. That's not great. Here we go. One last arena before the boss. So again, I was pretty much just spamming the kick button over and over again. So, I mean, whatever we're going to do. Got him. One shot with the butt of the gun. Is that how that works? You can't knock people off of the edge, I want to say. See, look at this guy. See? He doesn't fall off the edge. Don't worry about it. I might want the gun for the boss, though. Let's see if I can hoard it. So he just threw a knife and ran away, huh? Ow! Ow! See, there you go. That's safe. Ow! Got one bullet left. Okay, this is ridiculous. I'll have to do that all over again. Okay, let's try that again. Get at me, dog. Want a piece of this? Yeah. Stunning AI we got here. Okay, there we go. The game finally figured out that we we're having a stalemate. Get at me, dog. I mean, come on, look. Well, so, how about those Nats, huh? I think finally might be 9 games over 500 now. 9 games under 500, actually. How the heck? Okay, so basically they played the Cubs last weekend, and they somehow gave up 11 runs in the final 3 innings. You scored 6 runs in that game, but the fact that you gave up 11 runs in 3 innings because your bullpen is the worst in baseball probably explains a whole lot then, doesn't it? Okay, this is officially a dance. Who is the best team in baseball right now? Is it the Mets? Not the Mets. If I'm not mistaken, the Nats are 5 games out of the wild card spot. You gotta be kidding me. Well, it's only May. By the time July 4th rolls around, that's when you start panicking. And we might not even get over 80 degrees this year on Memorial Day, because I remember back in 1990 when Battletoads came out, I specifically remember being in the park. It was 100 degrees in the shade that day. Mariah Carey's Vision of Love was #1 on the charts. What else? So I guess you could say the 90s didn't officially begin until 1993, I want to say. So basically everything that happened up through, the Iraq War was pretty much just 80s hangover. The music was basically 80s hangover. So basically everything before Nirvana was 80s hangover. Including this game, which, of course, I think the newest game in this collection is from 1990, I want to say. So, 1990? What was going on in 1990? So if this were an arcade game, would this even be allowed, by the way? So, what was that book? Actually, that book that I have might be... Actually, I think I pulled it out. Let me see if it's in my closet somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I pulled out that book. Just a second. Yeah, it might be on my bookshelf over here. Stay with me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I pulled it out. So I have to move these video games out the way so I can get to my book about video games. My 25, 30-year-old book about Nintendo and entertainment system games. Let's see. I got Witcher 3 here.